Hunt for classic cars has brought a guy all the way to central Iowa. I've got myself another Model A. It's a 1930 four-door, and of course it's been off the road for many, many years. It's tucked away in the shop right here. I'm gonna try to get it running and drive it 665 miles and back home. That should only take a month. Let's go check it out. Well, here it is. We've got ourselves a four-door. Check this out. It's really cool. One forward swinging, one suicide. Plenty of room for the family. I actually bought this, I want to say a couple years ago, and it's just been sitting here waiting for me to come and pick it up. There's a lot of original pieces on it, but it's also been monkeyed with here and there. And it's been off the road, I think, like 7 or 8 years now. He said it did run pretty good when he had it running. So let's walk around this thing, see what it's gonna take. We'll get the hood open, check everything out. Probably have to run and get a couple parts. I did bring some very specific Model A stuff with us, just in case. So we've got the very distinctive 30, 31 fenders on here. I think body-wise, it looks all original. Just looking at it quickly. This is not, however, this is a motometer. This is how you actually gauge the temperature of the engine, is this mercury will rise on the back here, and you gotta somehow look through the glass and see that little thing. And you know, they overheat every 20 minutes, so that's pretty good. This one's it's got an adapter on it. It actually flips back like that. Normally they come all the way off. This one just kind of flips, but nonetheless, it's still pretty cool. Here's the hole for the cranker. If you're gutsy enough, you stick it in there, boom, fire this thing off. Most commonly just snap your wrists though. I think he said that's in the car, so we could check that out. Of course, you've heard me say this before. Henry Ford said, you can have the car any color you want, as long as it's black. And this one is definitely black, but it's got like a weird, I don't know if it's primer or what, or someone was trying to make it look patina'd, but the paint is kind of weird on it. But we got some original black here. Here you can see, it almost looks like it was paint brushed or something, like it was intentional. I don't really understand that. Maybe we can get it off, I'm not really sure. These are 30 wheels. So these are very skinny old bias plies. These would be a, what is it, a 4.75 by 5. 4-ply, really weather checked. I do not have any other tires. I'm not even sure why I get these right now, to be honest. So that's pretty good. We do have a spare. It's flat, seems fine. License plate's really cool. Iowa 1930. This guy got it out of Iowa City, I think he said. And we don't know where it came from before then. Maybe we could try to figure it out. But I think it's probably been an Iowegian car its whole life. Not really sure. These didn't really travel far. Doing what we're doing, 660 plus miles in a Model A, is highly not recommended. I'll tell you that much. Got the spare back here. Nice little cover on it. We might actually be using that tire at some point. There's no real big body damage on the car, which was a big selling point for me, or was it purchasing point? Because I bought it anyway. The roof canvas is pretty tough shape. Remember the guy that does the Flex Seal, floats canoes? Well, he apparently painted the whole roof of this here particular vehicle. Hopefully we don't run into rain. I'm sure we will. So that's pretty good. You know, running boards are here. I don't know if I dare stand on them, but they're all complete. They're not like, in here they get rotted. This one is not rotted. Maybe it's not as good as I thought. But anyway, it's all there. There's no heavy rust or anything like that. The doors seem to operate really good. It's got the original handles on it. This is a Murray body. Murray made whole bodies, I think from like 1919 to 35 or something, I can't remember, but it's a Murray body on the Ford here. They pumped out 4.8 million of these in just a short while. It was pretty impressive, I gotta be honest. So anyway, let's jump in the inside and check out the inside here real quick. All right. Yep. It's like a tackle box full of matchsticks and marbles with a hint of dirt. I gotta be honest. Look at this cute little seat here. It's like almost like an opera seat. They made elegant interiors, but very simple interiors. And this is a pretty good example of that. The leather straps are missing on the doors. That would be like the, so the door doesn't rip off thing. Nice little pouch over here, original pouch. This is how you get out, up. And this is your little handle to close the door. Little dainty thing. I don't fit in these very good at all, but I absolutely love Model A's. They're just, I respect them a lot because man, did this change automobile history for sure. That's not the original key. This would have been a pop out. So you'd turn it to on, it would pop out and you can actually pull the key out. It's been modified to an off-on switch. That's pretty common. It shows 52,000 miles. I'm sure that's original. There's no way it's not. That's the fuel gauge there. We've got the gav. We'll talk more about this. Ooh, it's open a lot. When we get to trying to start this thing, we'll work on the gav. This is pretty cool. The guy put seatbelts in the back. He's got kids. So he said, let's strap them in. You know what I mean? So boom, that's done for my family. Piece of cake. And let's see what we got under here. Look at that. We got original jackage. Well, that's the cranker. 2016. That's 8, right? Divided by 6. Carry that. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. The seats are in perfect condition. This one has a little snag in it. But other than that, they look really good. I think these have they been recovered? I'm not really sure, I guess, as to what I'm looking at. Rear view mirror, glass is in great shape. Some of the big questions are the fuel tank. If that's rotted and rusted, we're gonna be in trouble. It has the original fuel valve down here, so that's pretty cool. And then of course the engine. This has Babbitt bearings. So if the bearings are shot, then they're shot. And then we can't drive. So if you remember the last Model A trip, we had some bearing issues and some oil leaking issues and some whole car issues. And boy, was that a ride. Hopefully this one is smooth sailing. Speaking of sails, let's open the sails on the front. Okay. There it is. Cute little flathead. 4-cylinder. Ooh, this one's got a heater on it. This is a heat induction system. So it takes the heat from the engine and the fan blows that heat back right into the cab. So this is a fancied up unit back in the day. It's got an aftermarket air filter thing on it. It has the terrible Tilston carburetor on it. Yep, Model X. Allegedly, no one has successfully rebuilt one of those since 1928. So that's really good that we have one and no parts for it. So ignition looks pretty original-ish. The water pump has been replaced. I'm not sure if that's a packed one or a leakless. We'll have to check it out. It has the wrist remover in here, the old two-blade fan that likes to eject itself through the radiator or through the hood and into someone's hip bone. So that's pretty neat, But yeah, a lot of originalage. It has the old generator on it, so it hasn't been converted. You can get a 6-volt alternator, like a GM alternator, and some of them spice them up to like an 8, and you can throw those on here and makes life a lot easier. Rad hoses are there. They don't look to be too rotten. It's got a little bit of pliability left on it. Fuel has been off for a very long time. There's nothing in the bowl whatsoever. Let me open the other side of the hood. Or I wonder if I just take, oh, it's bolted on. Probably just need to take the hood off for now. We're gonna be farting on this all day. So here's the goal. If I can get this thing running, my friend Chad, not the other Chad or Chad Great or Muffler Chad or Rally Chad or, anyway, my friend Chad lives down the road a ways. If we can get it fired up here, get it out of this shop, go to his house, then we'd have a lift and tools, and we can get this thing prepared for that almost 700-mile trip back home. So here we have our timing rod. This goes to the steering column. We've got our throttle rod that also goes to the steering column. We got a loose lug on a starter. That's great. I don't have one of those. Just inspect. Ooh, that's crunchy. These are non-pressurized systems, so I'm not worried about it like popping. I just want it to contain the fluids that go in there. You know what I mean? What else are we seeing? That's really it. They're very simple rigs. It's got the original nuts on the ignition. It's pretty cool. It should run. It's just we don't know what the bearings are going to do. It's got oils. Sure. Okay. Yep. Got it. Okay. There we go. All right. I don't know. Where do we start? Let's take the floor out of it. Yep. We're gonna have to do that. Let's get the battery out, because I'm sure, well, I'll try it. It's been sitting forever, but I'm sure it's dead. Yep. All right. The starter button is stuck. It should be. Is it a spring gone or something? Anyway, battery's dead. So let's take the floor out, get the battery out. We're gonna have to run down to the tractor store or something, get a 6-volt battery back in this thing, and let's just start with the basics. Can we get the engine to turn over? Does the starter still work? When we gotta work into ignition, we'll have to time this thing because I don't know where the timing's at. I gotta get a gas jug, empty, get some gasoline in this thing, and we'll just start working through it, see if we can get it fired up. Come on, floor, you're coming out. Okay, I found this cat's paw up here on his bench. So I don't think the screws are in here, but anyway, there should be a battery underneath this floor. Under the floor. There should be a battery. So under this floor, in this floor here, there should be a battery. There it is. I'm seeing it with my left eyeball. Okay. Insulation even. Oh wow, that thing is haggard, not Merle, bad. And I believe these are a positive ground unit. Oh, it's like been boiled over. Okay. Now I gotta have to get that out of there now. This is coming. I gotta take this out of the floor, and then we get parts. Why is it so hot all of a sudden? I don't know. It's not helping the smell. Whew. Oh my gosh. Lots of acid. You want to try to get your hands in it and then wipe the sweat from your brows and then dump some in your eyes. No, don't do that, because that's what I'm fixing to do here. I found a croissant wrench laying on a thing over there. So we're going to round these nuts off really quick. and try to get this battery out of here. Did call down to the store, and they said, "Yep, I got one for a tractor." And I said, "That would probably work, Bill. That would probably work." So I'm going to bring this one in for a core, save some dineros there if I can. Boy, that's really on there. I think this has been overcharged. Those regulators can be adjusted. When you turn the headlights on at night, you can pop the hood and run them up higher. And I think someone did that and then forgot or something. Because this thing has been cooked. You know what I mean? Okay. All right, I think the stuff's happening now. Take this off. So once we get the electrical juices flowing, we got to work on fuel flow. That Tilson carb, I'm sure, is going to be junk. And then spark. Hopefully that old lightning whirler still makes some lightning. And then this thing should fly down the highway at least 35, 40 miles an hour. It's going to be really good. All right. What is this? Fiberglass? I think it was or is fiberglass or something mixed with battery acid and bad decisions. Look at this flashlight holder. I can't believe it. Isn't that cute? Huh. Oh, here's an old reg. 1982. This was in Iowa City. Donald had it. You know Donald down there. Making progress. No, it's not. It's metal. It's just been severely disintegrated, eaten away. This car is 94 years old. 94 years. And we're about to run this thing across the country pretty much. Back to Tennessee, you know. All right. I don't know why I yelled. I don't know why it's getting so hot right here. Am I getting haunted or something? Donald, give me some space. Just trying to put a battery in. Oh wait, it's cold if you're haunted. Uh-oh. Okay. So much farting around already, and I never even got a battery in it. Right tool for the job, round them off. Croissant wrench, carry one in each pocket today. All right, cold cranking amps, 32. Wow, this thing was a ripper. Never heard of a northern battery. You know, if I got a socket, this would have been off about 4 hours ago. But that just makes too much sense. Here we can see positive ground. See the positive? And that was ran right to the frame. Get the cat's paw battery remover. Okay. Yep. All right. 4 weeks later, battery's out. That's good. That's really good. Trip number 1 at the parts store. Going to swing down, get a new lightning cube, I think a gas jug, a couple gallons of gasoline, and see what else I could find on the shelf that might help us out here, oil, stuff like that. And we'll be back, see if we can get this fired up. We're back. I got a lightning cube, some gasoline, some other things. Should get us started. See if I can drop this in here and damage it. Wearing gloves this time because I actually did get battery acid all over my face, so that's pretty good. All right. Positive ground. You definitely don't want to bang on your battery terminals. Like that. I don't hear anything sizzling or smoking, so that's a good sign. And I think I might pull the spark lighters out before we twist this over, just in case. Give her a little wind to move over easier. Well, this little stinker. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I think I'm going to leave the cover off just so when that light's on fire, I can get to it faster. Okay, let's take the hood off. What? We gotta put the clamps back on though. Well, I mentioned that, but you got so excited, you just started walking away. Is that a 9/16? Yep, perfect. Hey, the light's on. What? I saw headlights. I noticed the taillight was on when I went to get a ranch dressing. But now does it, they're so dim it doesn't even show on the, oh there, look at that. Oh, that's just one. One bright. And then, I think that must be off. Both dim. Is that off? Cool, well that's exciting to know. I was doing the math. It's gonna be like 3 14-hour days, I think, to pull this off, which is a lot of night driving. So it's great that the lights work. The switch is on the steering wheel and it was already flipped over, so check that off the list. Yeah. One night at a time. Is this tobacco or something? Oh, it's a one of, you know what that is. Let's put that right back there. I have no idea what part that was, but it's destroyed now. That's a pretty good sign. Something is amiss somewhere. Breathing in battery acid. There. Now when we get that massive acceleration and cornering capabilities with these rigs, the battery ain't gonna move around on us. That's pretty good. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try to gently take this hood off, and by that I mean I'm gonna put scratches over both fenders, the cowl somehow, and cut my finger. And we're gonna do that for multiple reasons. One, I can't see what's going on. And we're gonna be under here a lot anyway, so we might as well do that. I think all I gotta do is run the screw out on this bracket, and we should be able to kind of slide it out. Okay, there we go. Okay, now how am I gonna do this? You gotta kind of hold. Oh, look at that. Stay put. Okay, now let me make sure the key's off. Yep. Let's dig into the ignition a little bit here. Oh boy, that was not supposed to happen. That's the distributor cap, believe it or not. Funny design. These are the sparkulator hoses, but they're not hoses. They're just pieces of metal. Rotor, looks rotary. Okay, we got our points in here. Those look pretty terrible, actually. I don't know if I brought any. Uh-oh. Okay, let's take the sparkulators out. And then we can hit the starter button, see if this thing's going to rotate and whatnot. Okay. I think this is more of the original hold down. That one. Okay, let me get a sparkulator wrench. Wow, puppy was on there. Also gave us an idea how it was running. Really rich. Wow. I don't think I have any more. Might find some sandpaper or something around here. Give them a little cleanup. Same thing. Goodness gracious. Oh, man, these are in there. Boy. Okay, well, at least it's evenly bad. Yep. Okay, now, let's see if this turns over by hand. Yep. There we go. Okay, I think I am confident enough to go ahead and hit the starter button and have it crank the engine over. We'll do a neutral check. It seems like neutralis. I'll come over there and just hit it with my hand. Okay, here we go. Yep. Ha! Rotates great. Nothing came flying out. Don't hear any banging or knocking or anything like that. Now, should a guy we need to test for spark at this point. Should clean that. How are we gonna do this? Well, I guess I could just put the ignition system back together, hook up one plug, just ground it to the head, and we'll just see if we got sparks snapping on the plug. Let's do it the old way. Oop, I am gonna clean that really quick. With my professional points filer. No, it's just a Leatherman. But I should be able to get right in here ever so sweetly and clean this up. Just like that. That looks pretty good. There we go. All right. Rock and roll. You know. Okay. Put this on. Put that on. There we go. And then, final touch. Screw this back together. And I think we can just set it on here. I can ground it to the head and look down here for spark. All right, let's see what happens here. There. Sweet. So we've got spark. We have the 4 pounds of compression that these only ever have, it sounds like. Now we just need fuel. Now Tilliston is going to be probably tricky, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and dump fuel in here, see if the tank's clogged up, see if the petcock works. I'll probably clean that fuel bowl first so we get an idea of what actually is coming out. Or the sediment bowl, and then we'll see if we can attempt to fire this thing up. I'm probably not going to change the oil or anything here. I'll do it when I get to my buddy's place. It looks pretty decent, and it'll be good enough for nowish, and then we can doll it up more when we get there, if it even runs and moves and does all that stuff, you know. These are pretty crunchy threads. I don't like that. I wonder if he's got any juice. Like, the threads just not feeling very good. Forgot to pick some of this up. Okay. Don't want to dig around this guy's stuff. I didn't find any sandpaper, just kind of eyeballing around. But again, if we get this back to the other shop, we'll get some and clean these up a little bit, I think. What's going on? There we go. Come on, man. There we go. Big old honking plugs. Easy on the paint. Okay. Very simple yet effective design. There we go. There. Maybe. No fuel pump, gravity fed. Oh, it's like full full of stuff. That's not a good sign. See if I can clean it out. Cleaning it out. Get some brake. Psst. Ooh, it's like gelled at the bottom. Oh, big chunks. Hopefully that's not in the tank, and that's just old fuel that, well, I guess that would have to be in the tank. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's better now, somehow, magically. There we go. That is a lot better. Now when the sediment drops in here, it kind of acts like a fuel filter essentially. We'll be able to monitor what's going on inside that tank. Let's go plug this in, throw some gas in it. Okay, hopefully that doesn't leak. Wonder if I can peer inside here a little bit. Doesn't look too terrible. Definitely some rust in there, but it's not like rust. It's like rust. I don't know. It could work. Let's fill it up. Okay. Uh-oh. It's so bad. It's everywhere. This is 87 non-ethanol fuel they had in the grocery store down there. Oh man, I'm spilling it so bad. I gotta get that off the paint. How is there 30 gallons in this can? I don't understand. There we go. Definitely gonna have to carry this with us everywhere we go because this is a small fuel tank and there's not gas stations anymore every 10 miles like there was back in the day. My bad. My bad. I'm sure it's happened a million times. Okay, I'm gonna hit the gas valve on. And this should start filling. Yep, there we go. It's leaking everywhere. It's bad. It's really bad. Turn the fuel off. Okay, so not a mechanic or anything, but I don't think that's normal. O-ring up here is just shot. How are we gonna fix that? You can't. Why'd you take it off? Well, I wanted to clean it. Well, now you can't ever put it back on. Well, I'm trying. I just cleaned that, and then you made it dirty again. Let's try that again. Please don't spill everywhere. Stay. Oh, it's even worse. Oh boy, that's a problem. There's a rubber gasket on the top part that has failed. How am I going to get that to come back? Oh, I see. Why is that in that shape? That's not going to cut it. How was the ceiling before? This is perplexing. Hey, so we walked up to, there's another shop on the property here, and talked to this nice feller. And he said, not only do I have cork, I got a scissor. Ouch. What was that? I'm not sure. So I'm gonna trace this out, give her a cut, and hopefully we'll have a nice gasket again, except I'm gonna do this in the corner and not waste a bunch of material. This is a little thicker than what's gonna be ideal. Hopefully the clasp tightener down her upper releases enough to allow me to get this in there, but I think in a pinch, if I stacked up some rings out of a wax cup, we might could get it too, but this is our best option. Okay. Sure. Man, when was the last time I used the scissors? This is weird. These are some serious, like, scissors. Okay. Anyway. Not a very good crafter. How am I going to cut the center out? I don't know. Okay. Okay. Something like that. Can I fold this in half without it breaking? No. Can you just stab it? Yes. Got the old back crack waterfall going. I thought it was going to be cooler here in Iowa, but it is not. Okay. Yes. Ta-da! Perfect. Can't even tell I cut it out. It's terrible. Okay, let's see if it fits. Seems like that's fitting. This might work. Just might work. That on. Ha-ha! Okay. 7th time's the charm. Try it. 7th trying is the time it works. Come on now. Leaking. Leaking worse. Leaking. Why? Terrible leaking. Why? Why is it doing that? I don't want to break the glass. Is this cracked somewhere? Help me understand it. I'm trying. I mean, this is, how can it get any simpler? That's actually a good sign. It's not leaking. There's no fuel being added because there's no fuel being pulled. So that means it's airtight. Finally, I think we got it. If I cracked it loose at the carb, I bet it would flow some fuel. Let's find out. Okay. See, there comes the fuel. There comes the fuel. So, I think we have fuel delivery down. Now we've got to talk about the GAV, gasoline adjustment valve. You can actually lean or enrich in your fuel making happener from inside the cab. And it does it by this rod right here. So when you turn that rod, it turns this right here, which is how you make that adjustment. Also, if you pull that lever, boop, it's also the choke. And that's a part of the starting process. Clean a couple things up here. I think I'm going to jump in. We're going to see if we can go through every Model A has a secret handshake to get it fired up. I'm going to see if I can figure out this one. And hopefully it pops off. Makes some noise. Okay, so. Okay, we're going to do timing retard all the way up. We don't want it advanced. We want a little bit of throttle just till the throttle barely starts moving. Make sure it's in neutral. Brake on. And then this is the GAV. We're going to open it about 3/4 of a turn. Turn it on. I'm going to hit the starter switch, pull the choke. As soon as I hear it trying to fire, I'm going to drop the choke off. And hopefully it just runs. Oh, it barked. A little bit of timing. A little bit of throttle. Yes! Come on, girl. Oh, it wants more fuel. Let it idle for a second. Got a pretty good miss in it. Got a leak over here. Doesn't sound good. Huh. I'm going to shut it off to see if I can tighten that. Well, there we have it. It runs. It doesn't sound the greatest, but it runs. I got some sort of weird compression-esque sounding leak over here. I'm going to try to tighten these nuts up, see if anything's loose there or something simple like that. Check the oil again. We got to add some coolant in this thing. We can run it through the gears and then try to get it out of the shop. Put some miles on this thing. What size is that? I don't know. I had a little bit on that one. A little there. Nothing. A little there. I'm surprised at that feel make it happen, or still making feel happen. It's a very odd splishy splash sound. Feels looking pretty good. All right, add some juice to the hot water heater. Hello? Oh, there might be some in there. Let me just dump a little in and make sure. All right. There might be some in there already. Is that from me? Stuff pouring out his front. Hopefully that was from me spilling. Okay. I'm gonna fire it up again, see if the generator's generating. Electricity, and then we'll try the clutch out, see if that works. Now that it's warm, we shouldn't have to futz around so much. See, as I'm moving the timing lever in here, we're retarding the timing, advancing the timing, right from the lever on the column there. Cute old thing. All right, let me jump in and try the clutch. Let's go into gear. Yep. Running really rough, but it has been a long time since it ran. Okay. It's getting exhausty in here. I gotta move some stuff around. Throw the hood back on, and then we're gonna see if we can get it out of the shop. Take it down the road, see what it does. Yep, 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 yep. Hoots of dorsal fins. Nice. Side's done. We clamp this side. Okay, put the floor back. Forgot about that. That old timer must have been cruising this around in the wintertime. It had the heater and some insulation under here. Oh, Lego just came shooting out. Okay. I don't know what those are. Yep. Complete. Okay, gotta put a little more wind in this tube here. That seems close to exploding. Should work. Well, maybe a little more actually. Okay. Very nice. Uh-oh. This is great. It's got brakes. Oh, very cool. Outside for the first time in years. I'm gonna clean up the space, and then we gotta jam this thing on some back roads, try to get it over to my buddy's house, and we can further repair, inspect, and prepare for 665 or 70 miles eternity back home. Hey, great news. I'm stuck in here. We made it to my buddy Chad's house. We've been here several times. We're gonna kind of post up here, do a little bit more work on this. It is terribly down on power, and a bigger issue is we have a tremendous oil leak going on right now, and I'm concerned it's the Babbitts or the bearings or engine stuff. So I'm gonna call my buddy Paul Shin. He's a Model A expert. Try to get some advice from him, see if we can figure out what the root cause of this whole oil leak fiasco is, because if I can't patch this up or do something, I think this might be the end of our road trip, because it is pouring out faster than I could probably pour it in. So let's lift the car up, try to figure out, maybe it's just the gasket or the drain plug's loose, I don't know. See what's leaking, call Paul, come up with a plan, see if we can get this patched up. Oh, they welded the fender. Huh. Beautiful drive though. So it looks like the majority of it's coming out right here, which is kind of rear main bearing-ish, and kind of been splattering. I think that's just cast off. from that. And there might be something leaking on the front of the pan, but it's nothing simple or easy or obvious. It's definitely coming out of that. So we've got a couple different things. It was overfull in oil, which it wasn't. The block or engine is getting pressurized because the breather is plugged. I'll have to check that. Or the bearings are just loose or shot. It's probably the latter. Although I didn't see any oil stains or anything at the shop we got it at, so it might have just happened coming here. I was very careful on timing to not spark knock it or anything like that, especially with 660 plus miles to go. But we got to get this figured out because we left the trail literally all the way in here. So let's bring it back down and we'll start with the breather. So we're going to check the filler system here. We got to make sure that this isn't plugged, because if it's plugged and not venting correctly, it's going to create a bunch of crankcase pressure and potentially force that oil out. That's not plugged up. Sometimes these get stuffed full of SOS or Brillo or something like that. This is just a press fit, and it is not plugged. I can see all the way through that. So it's definitely venting. I was hoping I'd be something simple. Okay, so Paul was mentioning let's try to run some different oil. The oil pump in this pumps the oil to the front of the engine, then it literally just uses gravity, and you can see the engine is tilted back. And the oil will run back and then drip oil onto the bearings or babbies. And I guess when these start wearing out or going bad, the instinct is to put thicker oil in, but actually that's worse because you're starving those bearings. And we're going to put a thinner oil in it because the openings are very small to make sure that that oil is getting down on the bearings. And then with the fresh oil, we'll fire it up again, see if it's still puking oil out or not, and go from there. So let's get it up, crack this pan, and change the oil. Oh, I need to clean this air filter too. This is a Unames Filter Division Products, Cleveland, Ohio, 44128. Might throw this in the sink and clean it up a little bit. Okay, I need to get a wrench of some kind. Why was everything on this so tight? What's going on? I don't like the way that sounds. Oh, that's my elbow. But I also don't like the way this might be stripped. Yep. Wow. Remember how I said we were going to change the oil? Let's just maybe leave it in there. I can't believe it. How is that possible? Yep, it's stripped. Wow. Can I get it to even tighten now? I don't know. We could drop the pan. That's kind of risky to get that to seal back up. Well, we know it's a little low because we leaked
50 gallons out, so maybe I put 1 quart of 530 in it to thin her out a little bit and see if that does anything.
That's really unfortunate. Just make sure we're not overfilling this thing, which you can't be, right? Yeah, so that's how much we leaked on our journey. So we'll put, I guess we'll go like quarter at a time, so I can not overfill it, but get some more in here. I wonder when the last time the oil was changed in this then. Had to have been a long time. I think I said I was going to do a quarter, but let's go half. Okay. Try it again. Boom. Right to the bottom of the F. I think we can go. Let's go a little more. Yep, mm-hmm. I think what I'm going to do is fire it up, and then we can lift it up on the lift a little bit, and then get some lights into there and see what it's doing or not doing. Neutral check, emergency brake on, Gav, open, contact. With that fan blade. So far it's not leaking, but bad bed bearings are different. It's not like a traditional bearing today. They're actually poured, and the materials are made of heat up at different temperatures than the rods and the crank. So it could be tighter when it's cool, and as it heats up, that's when it lets all the oil pass. Because right now, I don't think we've dripped one drop. I can see the oil hanging off there, about ready to drip. But when we pulled in, it was just dumping. Let it run a little bit. That's a weird squeaking sound. What was that? Doesn't sound good. Yeah, I can see the oil coming now.
like a chunks get kicked up every now and then. Vibrating really bad. It's got a bad vibration. Pretty good little puddle going. I don't know what to think here. If I was just going to town, it's not that hard of a decision, but if I'm going almost 700 miles through back roads, no one's gonna have parts for this thing. If the Babbitt goes, that's just done deal. So I'm contemplating on whether or not I keep farting around with this. It doesn't sound healthy. And I may be hearing things, but it almost sounds like the crank is kicking up some debris every now and then in there. And I can't get the drain plug off. Potentially pull the pan on this, make a huge mess. I'm not quite sure. Might call my buddy again and see what he thinks here. Yep, shoot. What to do, what to do. So I just talked to my buddy Paul Shin again. He is a wizard when it comes to these things. He and I actually built one in Detroit. It was really fun for Roadworthy Rescues. And I got to watch him work in person. It's phenomenal. But what we've got going on here, to me, sounded like a spun bearing. That chirping. Obviously, you can't spin a bearing in this particular case, but you can run them dry. So I called him and I said, I've got chirping, we've got a bad vibration developing now, and I can hear trash in the pan getting kicked up, which is going to be, unfortunately, pieces of Babbitt getting slapped around in there. So we have lost probably the big end of a rod or the center main or something like that, but it is not happy, and unfortunately, that shuts me down. This motor is not going to go almost 700 miles. There's just no way. So for now, unfortunately, there's not much more I can do with this Ford. I've got to get it back home to Tennessee. Engine's gonna have to come out, and it's either gonna have to be machined to have new style bearings put in, or I'm gonna have to find one of the 5 people on earth that still pour Babbitt bearings in this engine here, and then we can do some fun stuff. We can convert it from a generator to an alternator. We could change the carburetor on this thing. We could put a new distributor in it. There's a lot of stuff that we could do with this car and have a lot of fun with it, but it is not road tripping right now. So what I need to do is get on the line and find another vehicle to get myself home, but you'll have to wait until next week to see what I found and see if we can make it in that one. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you very much. See you next time.